F1 the movie is a journey. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is King Richie and we're talking F1 the movie. Alright, it's not just a sport. It's not just a setting. It's a journey of underdogs. A journey of broken egos, rebuilt trust, and true teamwork. And F1 the movie captures that in a way I didn't expect. This isn't just the story of Sonny Hayes, aka Brad Pitt's character. It's a story built around an entire team. It's about every character, big and small, going through their own arc. It's not just a racing movie. It's not just a flashy IP grab with the F1 logo slapped on the poster. It's a character-driven story within the F1 world, and the sport becomes the emotional engine behind it all. And trust me, there's room to breathe, okay? The film clocks in at 2 hours and 36 minutes, and every minute feels earned. This movie takes its time to build real momentum, letting the characters develop naturally and allowing the tension both on the track and between the people to simmer. What I love is that F1 doesn't rely on its brand name alone. This isn't a, hey, you like racing, right? Kind of movie like Until Dawn was, or certain other titles. You could take the sport out of it and it would still be a compelling story. But the fact that it's set in this world and that the filmmakers treated it seriously is what makes it hit even harder. And it's not just movie professionals making guesses about what Formula One is like. This film had some serious backing behind the scenes. Lewis Hamilton, he is credited as a producer, but he wasn't just slapping his name on the credits. He was deeply involved as an executive producer and the authenticity consultant. Apologies. He reviewed the scenes, provided script notes, and literally helped guide the portrayal of race day culture, the team dynamics, and even what tires would be used. Then there's Toto Wolff. Also, apologies if I butcher any of these names. Toto Wolff is the team principal of Mercedes. He was the one who pitched the idea of using real Formula 2 cars retrofitted to mimic F1 vehicles, letting the cast and the stunt drivers actually race on track for these high-speed IMAX shots. The film even got access to the real paddocks at the Grand Prix events, with the stars Brad Pitt and Damson Idris suiting up in the middle of the real F1 circus. And yes, David Croft and Martin Brundle, the actual Sky Sports F1 commentators, lend their voices to the film. And that was apparently one of Hamilton's only non-negotiables. Is like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it right. And all of that shows. I'm not too big into F1. I don't know so much behind the scenes, but you really feel like you're in the movie, in the scene. You're not watching from the sidelines, but inside the car, inside the garage, part of the team. At the center of all this adrenaline is the dynamic between Sonny and Joshua Pierce, aka JP, aka Damson Idris, his character. Their relationship is everything to the film. It starts rough with the egos clashing, miscommunication, distrust, but over the course of months in universe time, you watch them evolve into something resembling a real team. And even the side characters like Kate, Ruben, Jody, the crew pit person, like, they're not just filler. Everyone's on their own journey, contributing to this narrative in meaningful ways. It reminds me of the classic sports movie feeling where every bench warmer or pit crew member still matters in the final act. There are genuine emotional beats as well. And yes, I kind of teared up at the end. It lands. So let's talk sound. Okay, Hans Zimmer is behind the score, and it's absolutely phenomenal to no one's surprise. It's Hans Zimmer. He knows how to make tension just pulse through your veins. And add to that a lineup of incredible artists like Ed Sheeran, Tiesto, my girl Tate McRae, Roddy Ricch. They're contributing original songs, and with that, you got a soundtrack that feels cinematic and immersive. The music doesn't just accompany these scenes, it really throws you into them. You feel like you're in the pits, in the garage, behind the visor. It's not just a story that you're watching, you are the story in this film. And the decision to go with an original story rather than a true story really gave this film freedom. And that there is where it beats something like Gran Turismo. And now don't get me wrong, I did like Gran Turismo. It had heart, it told its true story well, and there were moments it landed emotionally. But it was also stuck in the real life timeline. There were beats that it had to hit, whether they worked cinematically or not. F1, on the other hand, it has the flexibility to craft exactly what the story needs, and it shows. That, plus a massive budget, which is reportedly between 200 and 300 million. I couldn't get an exact number, compared to Gran Turismo's $60 million. Oh my goodness, $60. It makes a difference, the scale, cinematography, the aerial shots. It's basically Top Gun on wheels, hence why the director is there. So one criticism, I know there's been some talk about Simone Ashley's character, who got basically cut from the entire film. And that is disappointing. And I would love to see, like a director's cut or maybe an extended edition that restores that character arc that she had. But like I said, with so many storylines just woven throughout this film with so many characters, I can understand the need to trim for pacing, but this one, I just really hope that they can add it in there at some point in the future. I was scrolling through Letterboxd and I saw a Letterboxd review that said something like, "You've seen this underdog story before, but not like this." And that's exactly it. Sure, you've seen all these underdog sports films, underdog films in general. You've seen Gran Turismo. I mean, you've probably seen Pixar's Cars. but this, it's exactly what happens when you take that emotional formula, plug it into a V6 turbo hydro, turbo hybrid engine, I can't read, and fire it onto the track with real F1 minds behind the wheel. The F1 movie, it's exhilarating, it's heartfelt, it's cinematic in the best way possible, and most of all, it respects the sport and the people who love it. As someone who doesn't really watch F1, I never grew up with it. I just don't really watch it that much. But this film gave me a new appreciation. I already appreciated it. I know somewhat. I'm a McLaren guy myself. I owe that in part to my roommate. Made me watch The Drive to Survive, fell in love with Lando Norris. Roommate's a massive fan, and she low-key dragged me into it. But between her, updating me keeping up with the races, and then now this film, I get it. I get it now. I get why the fans care. I get why the fans love it. And if you watch this movie, you will too. If you have seen F1, please let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me how you felt the accuracy was with the film too. I'm genuinely curious. Like I said, I'm not a big F1 person, so I am curious to see how accurate some of the portrayals were. But thank you for being here. And with all that being said, if you did enjoy the video, please leave it a like, because it really does help out the channel so much. And there's way too many of y'all who are not subscribed. So if you made it this far and you still have not subscribed, why not? You're already here. Thank you all for being here today, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.